The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome. My name is Simreen Essen, Program Counselor at the University of Manchester, Dubai, and I'm joined tonight by my colleague, Pia Salvan. It is a pleasure to have you with us to explore the Masters in Educational Leadership and Practice, a program built for professionals passionate about shaping the future of learning. Tonight, we will cover the university's legacy, the program structure, and the entry requirements. We are also highly privileged to be joined by our lecturer in education and Deputy Program Director, Dr. Bobby Dutton-Gavs, who will share first-hand insight into the curriculum. This session is an open conversation, so please stay engaged and feel free to drop your questions in the chat box anytime. Let's begin. As part of the prestigious Russell Group, the University of Manchester is the UK's largest single-site university built on a rich heritage of world-first discoveries. Our academic history spans from splitting the atom and creating the world's first taught program computer, the Manchester Baby, to discovering graphene, the tiniest material known to humankind. Today, we are home to 26 Nobel Prize winners and proudly ranked 40th globally in the QS World University Rankings. Driven by a core commitment to world-class research, outstanding learning, and remarkable social responsibility, we pave the way for true global impact. Furthermore, we are officially ranked number one in the UK, number one in Europe, and number one in the world for social and environmental impact by the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. What do these top tiers ranking means for you in practice? They make us one of the absolute best institutions in the country, as well as the entire continent, for student engagement in post-study outcomes. Established in 2006, the University of Manchester, Dubai is proudly celebrating 20th anniversary under the theme 20 Years of Excellence Stronger Together, making this a truly special milestone year for us as we celebrate. Today, we are home to a global community representing over 100 nationalities with 3,700 plus students supported and a regional alumni network of 5,500 professionals. Dubai Center is now the largest and fastest growing international hub in the Alliance Manchester Business Schools network, alongside centers in Manchester, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Singapore. While our portfolios includes elite programs like MSc in Financial Management, Global Part-Time MBA, Global Executive MBA, and Executive Education, our focus today is the MA in Educational Leadership and Practice. Crucially, the university is officially licensed by the UAE Ministry of Higher Education with full program accreditation, guaranteeing the highest standard of regional recognition for your degree. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce our lecturer in education and Deputy Program Director for the Educational Leadership Program at Manchester Institute of Education, the University of Manchester. She brings a wealth of experience in teaching, program leadership, and mentoring. Her research-driven work is deeply rooted in diversity, inclusion, and practice-based research, empowering education professionals to critically examine and strengthen their leadership across diverse contexts. What makes her perspective uniquely impactful is the breadth of her research, which extends into leadership and crisis care, including vital recent work on children and young people's involvement in mental health crisis services. We are incredibly fortunate to have her expertise guiding our educators please join me in welcoming Dr. Bobby Dutengas.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction.
Hello, Professor. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for inviting me along.
It's always a pleasure, and the floor is all yours. And we are right here to support you.
Thank you. Okay, well, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the MA ELIP program. And so this is a master's program held at the University of Manchester, Dubai. This is a 24-month part-time program, meaning that this will be taking place over 2 years. What that then equates is around 20 hours of study time per week to fit around your professional lives. This means that you can work through the program in a flexible manner to make sure that you're able to balance both your work life, your professional life, and also your studies with the University of Manchester. You will have access to asynchronous materials and also live sessions with your tutors on the course. This will include lectures and also other program materials like podcasts, audio, text, and other video formats as well. You'll be able to also take place in face-to-face workshops at one of our locations. We do have one in Dubai, but you are also free to come and join us at one of our other centres if you wish. And at these program conferences, you'll be able to build your global network with teaching peers from around the world. So this is a picture of one of our conferences in Dubai. I had the absolute pleasure of coming to Dubai in February this year and work with our students over there in February, but we also have 4 conferences that take place over the entire program. I will go through that with you in just a moment, but if we go into the next slide now, I'd just like to introduce you to Dr. Paul Armstrong. So Paul is the leader of this program, and he's quite an influential figure in the field of educational leadership. So Paul has 19 years of teaching, research, and publication experience in the field of educational leadership. His interests include contemporary forms of educational leadership and management. He focuses on how schools are managed and resources are organised alongside school-to-school collaboration and support. He's also editor-in-chief at a very popular academic journal in educational leadership called Management in Education. He's also author to many different books, but one of his more recent ones being School-to-School Collaboration, Learning Across International Contexts, available through Emerald Publishing. So Paul's work is absolutely vital within the field of education leadership. You may have already come across his name before, but he's also joined with other academics on the program that I'm sure you will have heard their name off if you've done some reading already. But before we go into our other colleagues, I'll just go to the next slide. So the program structure. So as we've already discussed, this is a 2-year part-time program. We have one intake each year within September, and you'll visit us twice a year as well for those conferences that you can either go to in Dubai or Manchester, or maybe you want to go to one of our other international centres. You will be learning by the Manchester method. And what this really means is that you will apply your learning on the programme to your professional context as you go along. There are 4 key themes throughout the unit that we'll constantly come back to. And of course, the first one being leadership within education. The second is what we call in education scholarship as a critical approach to education. We'll also be focusing on change management, and networking really does underpin a lot of the work on the programme as well. One of the selling points of this program is definitely the fact that you're able to choose as well along the way what units you might want to take. So you have the ability to customize as well with one of our optional units. Now, we've already discussed Paul's role in the programme, but from this list, hopefully you might recognise a couple of these names if you're quite read in education leadership so far. But on the ELIP programme, we're joined by world-leading academics in the field of educational leadership. So alongside Paul, we have other professors working on the programme, particularly Steve Courtney, Mel Ainscow, and Helen Gunter. And if you've done much reading around educational leadership, I'm sure you've most likely come across some of these names. We also have some expertise working in the field as well. So we have previous head teachers and principals working as well on the unit. And then we've got a range of expertise within research and also expertise of working within different educational institutions and also different levels of education working on this programme. Next slide, please. So this is the programme structure at a glance. So this will hopefully give you an idea of what to expect when you join us for the ELIP Masters programme. So the programme is split into 2 years and each year is split into 2 semesters. At the beginning of each semester, you'll join us for our conference. Within each semester, you also have 2 individual units and they build upon one another going through. So I'll go through these units in a little bit more detail now. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in semester 1, you'll start off by learning about models of educational leadership. Now, this is an introductory unit that really gets you thinking about what we've mostly already heard of, these buzzwords within educational leadership, some of the core models and theories of educational leadership. You'll explore conceptualizing educational leadership practice through adjective models and examine what this means in diverse international contexts. So you'll be able to apply the theory to your own practice, regardless of where you might be working at that time, whether that's an international school, it might be, primary education, secondary education. The idea of this is that it's really flexible so that you're able to apply the theory to your own practice. You'll also be able to examine and evaluate a range of these key models within the assessment. You'll then move on to engaging with research in educational leadership. Now, this is a really underpinning unit of the programme, which is why you cover it in the first semester. Within this, you'll come to understand what education leadership research actually is, what topics can be researched within education leadership, and you'll be most likely surprised about the range of research that takes place within the field, and also why research in education should be taken seriously. And this goes on to underpin then your understanding of the literature and the reading that you do in all your other units that follow. Next page, please. Thank you. Within semester 2, you'll then get to go on to leading networks, collaboration, and partnerships. And so within this unit, you'll then go on to discover education and leadership as a social practice. So looking outside the school, not just within the school, at the different partnerships that we make within our communities, and also developing those communities of practice within education. Of course, all of this being underpinned by research evidence. Then you'll go on and you have the opportunity to select an optional unit, and you get to decide between 2 contemporary areas of education right now. I'm sure we're all familiar with leadership within international schools. So if you're already working within an international school, this is often a really popular unit that students take. Alternatively, sometimes it's quite hard for students to choose between these 2 units, actually, because both of them are so poignant at this moment in time. So the other unit being digital technologies and educational leadership. So I'm sure working within education, we're all coming across the same challenges of digital technologies within education. And within this unit, we really go into a deep dive on the challenges and also the strengths of using DTCE within education. Next slide, please. Then within semester 3, you'll move on to leading educational change. Again, another buzzword within educational leadership, this idea of what is really meant by change within education, and then how do we approach this as a leader within the field. So we'll cover the counterproductive and productive motivators for and mechanisms for change. And we'll be taking a critical perspective on leading change within education. We'll then move on to education policy and leadership. And within this, within this unit, you'll explore what is policy and how is it done. We'll move away from those traditional ideas of policy implementation and come to understand what does policy look like as enactment within schools. We'll look at the policy architecture. How is policy made and how is it done within different educational institutions and at different levels? And all of this will be underpinned by different social theories such as welfarism, social democracy, and neoliberalism as policy architecture. Next slide, please. Thank you. And then finally, in your 4th semester, and arguably the most exciting semester, is the research semester. So within this semester, you will start off with a foundation of research skills in practice. Now, this first unit in semester 4 is where you'll start to develop your own ideas around research. We'll give you the skills to know how to develop your own research project. And then in semester 4, the second unit, your final unit, is the literature/practice-based inquiry. Now, this is your own individual research project that you'll get to conduct in your own institution if you so wish to. Alternatively, you can pick a different institution if you want to, or do a desk-based study. So really, there's a lot of choice here with how you want to approach your research project. This is an independent project, but you'll be working hand in hand with a tutor from the University of Manchester, from that list that was read before, of somebody that will help you in developing your project and also in the process of creating that final report as well. So you'll have one-on-one supervision and support with a leadership scholar at the University of Manchester. Thank you. Next page, please. So after all of this, where will this program take you? Everybody always wants to know about the career. What career might you be able to move on to after completing your MA? Well, this course is designed to give you the tools to be a principal and a head within your educational organisation. You'll also be able to use these skills to move on to potentially moving into a leadership position within an NGO or a middle manager, or maybe moving beyond your education context and looking at policy. After your master's, you'll be able to reinvigorate your practice, elevate your goals and approach, interview with confidence for leadership roles, hold your own, and make a mark within your institution. You'll have the chance to be the change in your education organisation. And what skills will you learn as you go? So you'll get the intellectual skills by critically examining and analysing theoretical perspectives in educational leadership. But you'll also get the practical skills in applying research findings to your workplace, country, or your situation that you find yourself in. You'll also get transferable skills and personal qualities such as conceptual and analytical skills, communication skills, and information handling. And one of the key highlights of this degree is certainly the global network that you'll develop along the way. So you'll participate in group work and discussion forums. You'll have the chance to develop your network with global educational leaders, academics, specialists, policymakers, and public figures from across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. And one of the greatest advantages of studying with us is that you're never learning in isolation. We have built a comprehensive support ecosystem that wraps around you from day one. Your journey begins with a committed course advisor to guide your initial decision, followed by a dedicated student advisor to support you throughout your active studies. Academically, you will receive direct guidance from world-class faculty via campus discussion board, while your academic advisor stands ready to answer your questions and provide direct feedback on your progress. Beyond academic, you will learn, you will connect, you will collaborate globally through our active online cohort communities, backed by professional care from our student well-being teams. Finally, you gain full access to the university's library extensive digital collection to help you reach your goals. From day one to graduation, our entire team is dedicated to your success.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. And of course, thank you to our Dr. Bobby as well for such an insightful session. I'm sure many of you have questions about the program and the points that we have discussed today. So you can use the Q&A panel or chat to type your questions in. You can also engage directly by raising your hand, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions live. Now, starting off with the first one, Dr. Bobby, as a full-time working educator, how manageable is the workload of this MA program alongside a demanding teaching schedule?
Thank you for your question. It's a very good one. I think this is one of the key anxieties that a lot of our prospective students have, and I can assure you that everybody that makes their way through the program, or the vast majority of them, are full-time educators, some of them already working within leadership professionals, and it's very manageable because it's a flexible schedule in which you can use your time wisely to plan ahead and to make sure that you're able to fit the studies around your professional work.
That's amazing. So we have another question here. Can you share an example of how a student can immediately apply the course assignments or projects directly into their current school or classroom? I think mainly it's the teachers here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think an excellent example of this is the literature slash project-based assignment at the very end of the program. This is a institutional based piece of work in which you'll be able to conduct a piece of research within your own educational environment. We've had students previously look at specific teaching or initiatives within their school and look at how to improve them, and they've directly applied the results within their own institution. So it's really exciting actually to see how people use their research in such diverse ways to improve their own educational environment.
So we have
Wonderful.
a question in the chat box from Yusra, and she's asking, can I study the course online?
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of the material available is online. So actually, the vast majority of it is the face-to-face workshops are 4 times a year. But if you're unable to make them as well, we are able to provide content additionally if you aren't able to make those conferences.
We have a similar
Wonderful.
question. And it is like, is it online or a hybrid program? So again, it's a blended program where almost like 70 to 80% of your program would be online, but there will be an element where you will require to come and attend these conferences that will take place 2 times in a year. So every semester you have to take about 3 days of your time, come and meet us. You will get a networking opportunities with our educators joining in from different educational sectors, schools, universities. So yeah, so you'll have to invest and give 6 days in a year each time.
Sabrina, just to add to that, we have another question here. Can you elaborate a little more on what to expect during conferences or the workshops?
Sorry, what's the question? Can you repeat that, please?
Can you elaborate a little more on what to expect during the workshops?
What to expect from the workshops. So in the workshops, it's a 3-day event where you'll come and join us, and there is a mixture of workshop activities. So some of that is going to cover the units that you're about to go through in the next semester. So if you were going to be joining the workshop in September, we would go through some of the core unit content from models of educational leadership and then engaging in education research practice, alongside some joint workshops where you'll be joining other students from the year above you, and you'll be able to have networking events, and also we'll have guest speakers that will come and deliver workshops across multiple different themes.
Centers, basically.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And we've also had principals and previous students come in and deliver different sessions as well. So there's just so much on offer. And I think one of the highlights of the workshops and the conferences is that no two workshops are the same. So each year it changes.
So we have a question from Yusra. How can I apply for it? Yusra, just in a short while, we'll be sharing with you the entry requirements, so that will answer your question. And then we have another question from Hadiba, and she's asking, my PhD is in commerce rather than education, but it has involved doctoral level research. Could that previous research experience have a bearing on the research component or APL?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anything that you've learned from doing research within a doctoral study, you'll definitely be able to apply that to the research element here.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Pia, we have any questions?
Yeah. We have one more here. What type of leadership challenges have previous students addressed through their studies?
A range. So we've had people look at smaller scale issues. So that could be anything from, oh, I'm the head of maths, and what I want to do is look at how we're currently distributing marking within our department, something as small scale as that. And then we've had much larger projects that have looked at, say, social and emotional learning within their school and how that's being currently managed within their policy. So it really does vary on what you want to do. And because we have such a wide range of expertise of professionals that come and study with us, anything from, kindergarten right way up to, higher education. The range in projects really does vary. So whatever your specialty is and whatever your passion is, you're able to apply that to your studies.
You've got amazing questions coming in. So there is one from a candidate. He's saying that how does the curriculum address the latest trends in global education, such as AI integration or modern student well-being strategies?
Now, you see, when it comes to well-being strategies, that's absolutely my forte. So you'll come across this with your individual tutors as well. So we all have our own expertise within education leadership. So mine being well-being, we have Dr. Drew Whitworth as well on the program, who's looking in AI and different uses of digital technology within education. So absolutely, we often look at the marketization and globalization that's also happening within education that we just can't avoid at the moment. So all of these issues are discussed throughout the program. So these common themes and threads, you'll see that there's a nice way in which we look at the theory, but through quite a nuanced and contemporary lens. So you'll see that within each of the units.
Thank you so much, Professor. Pia, we have any questions?
Yes, we actually have one from Kalud. Would work-life balance be feasible alongside the studying element of this program?
Yes, and again, I think this is one of the main challenges that students often think about before committing to it. So personally, many, many moons ago, when I did my master's part-time as well. And so knowing how this can at first feel like such a struggle, but the way in which that you just need to make sure that you plan ahead to know that, okay, I'm going to devote either, 7 until 9 o'clock at night to my studies, and then maybe the morning on a Saturday or the morning on a Sunday. If you know you're going to come across a busy period, such as a marking season, I know that most of us come across those when we're working within education. Just plan ahead and make sure that for a week or so, you know that you can't commit that time to it, but you can make it up elsewhere. So a lot of this is really about planning ahead. But we have people that have successfully gone through the program that are full-time, professionals with families and all kinds of other factors in their lives. And all I can tell you is that we just have such positive feedback of people, and the way in which it's enhanced their professional life just seems to be, it lights a fire for that passion again.
And a
Amazing.
follow-up as well, Dr. Bobby from Kalud. Also, if done online, would that show up on the certificate?
That's a good question. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so.
It does not. So we will be sharing that as well, Kalud, via email with you so that you can have a look at the sample degree certificate that you'll be receiving once you complete the program. All right. Serene, is there any questions from your side?
Yeah, there's a question from my end, actually. So, can you share an example of how a student can immediately apply the course assignment or projects directly into their current school or classroom? Like, how does this blend in, like whatever research work they're doing? How do they incorporate that in their active, work, what they're doing, whether it's a school?
Yeah, absolutely. So another example being, so I've already used the final project as an example, and that might feel like quite far away, but let's go to the very first project that you'll do on models of educational leadership. So the assignment for that has a reflective element to it. So the first part of that assignment is looking at a critical analysis of 3 leadership models that you'll cover in that unit. And then at the end of that, what you get asked to do is to reflect upon your own leadership practice and how you can apply those models to your leadership practice and make an action plan about how you're going to improve your own leadership practice based on your reflection. So right from the get-go, from the very first unit, we're really looking at the theory in relation to you and your own practice and how you're going to apply it.
Thank you so much,
Wonderful.
Professor. We
And
have, okay, Pia, go ahead.
no, I got somebody raised their hand. So Yomna, I will allow you to talk so that you can ask your question directly. Yomna? Yomna, are you with us?
Hi,
Hi, Yomna. Good evening. How are you?
how are you?
We're good. We're doing well. You raised your hand, Yomna. Do you have a question specifically?
I'd like to ask, is this program suitable for students who are at an early stage of their career and don't have yet have extensive leadership experience?
Absolutely. So we have such a varied range of professionals that come and join us. So we have people that, so for example, within Manchester, we call them NQTs, which are newly qualified teachers that might have only been in their position for a year, but they're really interested in stepping up into some middle management role. And so they can use this master's as a springboard into doing that. So don't be put off by whatever stage that you're at, because we do have a range of expertise that join us on the program. So whether you're new in your career or maybe you're quite experienced, it doesn't matter because we meet you where you are.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much, Yumna.
Thank you, Yomna.
So
And one more, Dr. Bobby, we have one more here. What can participants expect from learning experience itself? Is there a strong emphasis on discussion, collaboration, and learning from other professionals?
Absolutely. So we have a range of different approaches and pedagogical styles on the program. So we'll have those live sessions where you have the chance to interact with the individual tutor of each of the units. But then we also have discussion boards where we really encourage you to discuss your ideas with one another as well. And this is asynchronously. So what we mean by that is that it doesn't matter that you're all together at the same time. It means that you can log on at a time that suits you, and then you can look at what each other are saying about a similar topic and create a conversation about that. And that really helps develop your own thoughts about your practice as well. We also have different chances for group work as well along the program, alongside that independent study. So really you get a nice broad mix of networking alongside independent study. So hopefully we provide the whole sweep of activities for you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bobby. Serene, do you have any questions left?
we have questions in the chat box, but I think that will be answered in the next slide. So, are there any scholarships available? Is it mandatory to attend the workshops on site? So, yes, it is mandatory to attend the workshops, which are 3 days in a semester, which is of 6 months. So, I think we can all take 6 days in a year. So total number of workshops that you will be attending in your 2 years program would be 12 days altogether, 6 days in the first year, 6 days in the second year. And I think the last question, what types of leadership roles do graduates typically transition into after completing the MA in Educational Leadership and Practice? So that's for Professor.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. So it's always wonderful to hear from previous students. So one of the greatest things to receive is an email from a student from maybe a year or 2 years before, and they give you a little update. So, for example, only last month I got an email from one of my students who is now a head teacher in the Galapagos Islands. So we have all kinds of experience around the world, so it's fantastic to see that. We also have other people, other ex-students that come and join us actually in Dubai. So at the conference in February, we had a couple of students that have moved on to leadership positions, headships within their schools as well, and they come back and share their experiences of that and how they've worked the program into their professional life and their promotion as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bobby. So I think we're
Thank you
done
so
with
much.
the questions. Do we have
Actually, we
any?
have one last, if you can
Okay.
indulge this question as well, Dr. Bobby. Why was the program designed around leadership in practice rather than leadership theory alone?
So we actually have 2 separate programs designed at the University of Manchester. We have a full-time master's program, which is a master's in education leadership, which I also teach on. But that program is designed specifically to be theory-based, and we have people on that program that have never actually worked in education before. The Education Leadership in Practice program is designed specifically for professionals already working within education. It's 2 years so that you can study part-time, and then also there is a real emphasis on reflection and practice within this program. So you don't just look at disjointed theory from the program. What you're doing on ELIP is really looking at how you can apply the theory, apply the research and the readings that we provide you into your own practice and use that within your individualized journey.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Bobby. Now we have here, let me quickly take you through the entry requirements for the program. Our standard entry requirements is a 2:1 honors degree or overseas equivalent. We also warmly welcome applicants with a 2:2, provided you have at least 3 years of similar or teaching educational experience. And because this program is taught in English, if English is not your first language, you will need to provide proof of English proficiency. This can be met through an IELTS score of 6.5, a TOEFL score of 90, or an equivalent Pearson or Cambridge qualification as outlined on the slide. Now, if any one of you is unsure whether your qualification or experience meet the requirements, you do not have to worry. Our team here is happy to look at your individual profile and guide you through the process. Following today's session, actually, we'll also email you the full program details and application link for the September 2026 intake. And of course, if you'd like to discuss your profile in more detail, we'll be more than happy to arrange a personalized one-to-one consultation to answer your questions and support you through the application process. And I think Zara asked for if there is any scholarship that she can have. So as part of our commitment to supporting the next generation of education leaders, we're pleased to offer the Future Education Leaders Bursary for the MA Educational Leadership in Practice program. So the full program fee is around 18,690 British pounds, with the 25% off with the full 25 reduction applied, the tuition fee comes down to 14,017 British pounds. And to make the program more accessible, this fee can be paid in installment across the 24-month duration of the program. So if you're looking to take the next step in your educational leadership journey, just simply scan the QR code on the screen to learn more about this. All right. Now, beyond the classroom, the University of Manchester, Dubai supports you through your entire academic journey, from your very first inquiry tonight all the way to graduation and beyond. First, we offer personalized program counseling and admissions guidance to review your profile and help you navigate the application steps smoothly. Once you join us, our student services and academic support teams are right here on the ground in Dubai to manage your workshop logistics and ensure your learning experience is seamless. And finally, we are deeply committed to your long-term success. Through our career development services, we connect you with key industry network, while our alumni engagement team plugs you directly into a powerful regional network of over 5,500 working professionals. So to put it simply, we are here to support you to every single step. And of course, for those who are not quite keen to a full 2-year program yet, our executive education programs offer an excellent alternative. So this is designed specifically for managers and leaders. These courses are delivered in an intensive face-to-face format over just 4 to 5 days. Each course can be taken individually, or it can also be combined to earn a Manchester Professional Diploma in Leadership. So participants also receive digital recognition for every completed course, providing a flexible and impactful way to advance professionally, and investment for each course is up to 5,500 sterling pounds. Please see here is our next set of courses and avail our 15% discount. Of course, I'll give you a few seconds to scan the QR codes over the slide.
Thank you, Pia. I want to thank you. A big thanks to Professor Bobby for that incredibly insightful presentation. Hearing from our faculty always remind us of the high caliber of academics directions you receive here at the university, which lead us perfectly into our upcoming schedule of events. Mark your calendars for our upcoming events. So on September 12th at 7 p.m., join us for a networking dinner at Doubletree by Hilton in Riyadh. Then on September 24th, Dr. Stefan Zalgamer will deliver an online masterclass on geopolitics and international business in the Middle East. October 4th, we will host a dedicated information session for the Manchester Global MBA in Riyadh at 7 p.m. To register for any of these sessions, simply scan the QR on your screen.
And definitely what an incredible session that is. Thank you so much to everyone who joined. To stay connected, simply scan the QR code on your screen to follow the University of Manchester Dubai official channels to ensure you never miss our latest events, exclusive insights, and upcoming regional opportunities. And while you're at it, we would be incredibly grateful if you could snap a quick review for us on Google. Your feedback will definitely help us constantly elevate these sessions for our growing community. And as a reminder, our admissions team will be emailing everyone, emailing you the complete program details alongside the application link for the upcoming intake in September 2026 within the next 24 hours. And we highly encourage you to reply to that email, book your personal one-to-one consultation. So of course, we can help you tailor your application. Once again, my name is Pia. Thank you all for your brilliant energy tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at our next University of Manchester event very, very soon.
I want to leave you with a wonderful quote by the author Andy Smith. The doors of wisdom are never shut, and the most rewarding path is the one where we never stop learning. Thank you all so much for your time, your focus, and your fantastic energy during this evening's event. It has been absolute pleasure sharing the vision of our MA in Educational Leadership and Practice with you. A special thanks to my colleague Pia Salvin for her support, and of course, a huge thank you to our Deputy Program Director, Dr. Bobby Dutton-Gauss, for sharing such invaluable insights into the curriculum tonight. As we celebrate 20 years of excellence, we believe the future belongs to leaders who inspire others, adapt to new challenges, and drive meaningful change. With stronger ideas, stronger impact, stronger future, stronger together. On behalf of our founding director, Randa Basisa, and the entire team at the University of Manchester, Dubai, thank you once again for choosing to invest in your future with the University of Manchester. My name is Samreen Ehsan. Have a wonderful evening ahead.